talked about it on the podcast before, and I didn't have time to go back and write our first responses down, but we're gonna go through the QB pass catcher duos in the league and just kind of see how they're
Just this
standing
year?
this year. Because a
Are
lot
they
of these are
saying
who we've
like this
said.
year?
So I'll start it
Joe
off.
Burrow?
Yeah, we got Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, who this has them ranked one. I think this is extremely recency bias because lately they've been popping off. But
Got it.
I mean, you can't say that they're not. They're dominant and they're carrying.
They're I can't say they're top. I can't say they're number one.
I wouldn't put them over Rodgers
At
and
first,
Adams.
that's the first one I was thinking. Was
That's the
Rodgers
number one
and
in the
Adams.
league, to be honest, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think so, and it's going to show tonight.
Who?
I mean,
Rodgers
and
Devontae Adams.
Oh hell no! They're not even no.
Who's number one?
Stafford and Kupp. What are you talking about?
Nah.
Kupp has. Oh no!
Okay, but
How? Not Kupp.
It's close. I feel like it's so close, and it all comes down to just opinion, who you ask. I mean, you can even say Mahomes and Hill, not really this year, but like, I mean, they're up there.
Overall, yeah. I say I'm going to be biased towards Rodgers and Adams.
Some quarterbacks.
What'd you say?
Huh?
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Has more touchdowns than some of these quarterbacks. He has 9 touchdowns. More than Tano, I know that.
Who does?
Cooper Kupp.
I mean, yeah, they're dominant. On here, it has them listed second. I wouldn't put Burrow and Jamar Chase as number one. They're definitely a top, and they've definitely exceeded a lot of expectations. They're leading the division right now. We just talked about how important it is to lead a division, and they're getting massive W's. Then we have Stafford and Kupp. Corbin, who's your number one duo?
I think number one and number two, I think as far as the groups are right, but I think I would agree with Jackson. I think I would have Stafford and Kupp at one, but I would definitely have Burrow and Jamar Chase number two.
Okay.
I think those are by far the top two so far this year.
Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. For one, Joe Burrow. I think the thing here is we're not leaning towards Joe Burrow as much, but Jamar Chase has over 700 yards in these first 7 games, and that's kind of ridiculous. I mean, he's averaging
for a rookie as well. This guy's a rookie.
I think he set some kind of record with that, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Or was he really close?
I think
all time.
Yeah, I think he did set it.
Yeah.
754 yards off 35 completions with 6 touchdowns. That's an average of 21.5 yards per reception
through 7 weeks. So it's not a 2-week thing. It's a quarter of the season.
I'm not trying to discredit or discount them at all, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just being biased.
I mean, I would agree. I'm with you though. I'd put Rodgers and Adams, but like Stafford and Kupp have obviously been doing some insane things this year as well. Apparently, Matthew Stafford's the NFL's highest passer rating and completion percentage on deep passes to Kupp, minimum 10 passes, has unlocked another level. Yeah. And then you said Kupp. Isn't Kupp leading the league in receiving? Yeah, he is.
Him and Jamar Chase are 1 and 2. So that's kind of why not just a simple, like, Kupp is a little bit higher than Jamar Chase in receiving yards. And that's why I would have him number 2 is not only that, but, I mean, Stafford's probably top 5 for MVP right now.
Yeah.
So to me, that duo right there, you got the leading receiver and probably top 5, maybe even top 3 MVP candidate. I think that's kind of hard not to have number 1. But like I said, then I definitely think Joe Burrow and Chase are 2.
I mean, Cooper Kupp, Jackson said it, but his touchdowns are actually insane because Devontae Adams only has 3 touchdowns. Jamar Chase has 6. Cooper Kupp's sitting at 9.
Yep, he's balling, man. Cooper Kupp he's even been good for like the past 4
Yeah, this isn't a one-season thing for Cooper Kupp.
The thing is, I think he's been injured like most of the season. I don't know if it's last year, but the year before, maybe both years he was injured most of the season.
And he hasn't had Matthew Stafford, tell you that.
That's what literally beginning of the year, baby. I love to hear it and see it, and I keep thinking like with who was their quarterback? With Jared Goff balling out there, there's no way Stafford wasn't gonna like put up some numbers with these receivers. So
yeah. Let's go down the list of some other ones in the top ones. Obviously, there's still Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins we haven't talked about. They're on the number 1 team in the league, the undefeated team right now.
I like that. I feel like I haven't seen a lot of connections with Kyler Murray. Like I just know Kyler Murray in general has been balling out.
Yeah.
D-Hop, I know I haven't really seen much of D-Hop. I know he's probably doing like D-Hop things, but
D-Hop's
I
in.
just haven't seen as
On the
much
list of the
compared to
top receiving stats, he's 26th, 33 reception or 420 yards, 7 touchdowns. So he's getting touchdowns, but
Just doesn't have a
not
lot of
putting up those
yards.
massive games that he's getting. Yeah,
But what's
and that's what I was.
I think this is another one though where D Hop is obviously having a good year. I'm not saying he's not, but you have an MVP. You have Kyler's probably the head lead for MVP right now.
yeah.
I would say so.
So that kind of is going to move you up in this list a little bit when you're at least one of the players in MVP conversation or being a top.
DeAndre
whatever.
Hopkins had
You're an
6
elite
touchdowns all
receiver,
last
then-
year, and he has 7 right now. That's actually wild.
That's actually crazy. That's wild.
When it comes to
That is
converting
crazy.
when they absolutely must, Murray and Hopkins have been money, tying with Carson Wentz and Mo Alley Cox for the most short touchdown completions on third down on
Really?
any pairing in the league. Shout out Wentz and
there's
Mo
a-
Alley Cox, baby.
There's a good amount of targets on that Cardinals team too, with Christian Kirk,
AJ
Rondell
Green.
Moore, and
AJ
AJ Green as
Green
well.
is
Yeah,
Zach Ertz.
When you got it wrong,
Zach
What?
Ertz as well, yeah.
it's Carson Wentz and former college basketball player Mo Alley Cox.
Put the audio from the tweet in there.
Have you seen the Simpsons thing where he's like?
That's what he's
"Oh,
talking about, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Other ones, I mean, we mentioned Rodgers and Adams. Tom Brady and Mike Evans, we haven't talked about.
I feel like this one's kind of overrated. I don't know.
Listen, I don't care about the Bucks enough to even worry about
I feel like
Brady.
the
I know they're
Bucks-
gonna keep winning. They'll probably be in the Super Bowl. I'll worry about them later, to be honest.
I
Mike
feel like-
Evans actually is balling out. Hold up, he's got 7 touchdowns as well. And he has a handful of 100-yard games, but he
Yeah.
did have a 2 for 27-yard game 2 weeks ago. So he had 3 touchdowns last week against the Bears. I did not know that.
Hey, they had a lot of
I
short
like
field
the-
positions though. Bears kept turning it over.
Dave Brady's
like the next
600
one on the
touchdown passed away.
Yep. We have Justin Herbert and Mike Williams out in Los Angeles. Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews, who the Colts know all about that one. Jesus.
That one was.
Colts game could damn near be the only reason they're on the list.
Yeah.
Hollywood Brown.
This says in the
I
final
think.
10 minutes of regulation in that game, Andrews caught 2 touchdown passes, 2 2-point conversions. I mean, they just made it easy for him. How far on the list? Oh, they don't even got Michael Pittman and Carson Wentz. I'm putting Michael Pittman Jr. and Carson Wentz on this list because, man,
It's a bold take.
how is that bold? I did talk about
Oh.
recency bias with the the
Yeah.
Bengals, and I mean this is the same thing, but you can't not mention it.
I don't see how they don't put Hollywood Brown with Lamar Jackson on here because technically
Hollywood Brown
top
drops
10
the
in-
ball too much.
He's top 10 in receiving though.
he's
Brown
got
is.
5. He's got 5-6 touchdowns. He had a 125-yard game, 113. He's getting 14 targets last week. I mean,
No, I agree with you on Marquise Brown.
I don't know. I mean, it's not really that crazy. I mean, Marquise Brown only has 50 more yards than Mark Andrews at tight end. He's got 3 more touchdowns, but we're talking about the tight end position.
Right.
I'm not talking about like putting him above that. I'm just talking about like I
Just
kind of
mentioning him.
Like, I mean, wait, Justin Jefferson? I forgot about that guy.
Yeah, let's talk about Corbin's favorite quarterback in the league, Kirk Cousins. He got Justin Jefferson. He made the list.
You like that?
I mean, Justin Jefferson is a
do.
beast.
I like Justin Jefferson a
So is
lot.
Kirk Cousins, man.
Let's see where Cousins ranks in passing. He's
Kirk Cousins
12th.
is an absolute specimen.
He's getting it done in Minnesota. He might have to do a little bit more work because they got to compete with the Packers. But 1,700
Mhm.
yards, 13 touchdowns, only 2 picks. He's on his Carson Wentz status, not turning the ball over.
Till you learn.
That's one of the biggest things in a quarterback for me. I've mentioned it a bunch of times in the podcast, but when I see like really low interception numbers for a quarterback, it's the greatest thing of all time.
Like the, hardest thing to do is not turn the ball over.
Yeah,
So,
especially the way they're slinging it.
I don't like the Derek Carr one on here, to be honest.
You just hate on
Really
the you,
don't.
you just hate on everything Raiders.
I don't like the Raiders. I hate the Raiders.
I don't
man.
have a reason to dislike or like the Raiders. They're kind of like just out there. For me. I
Because
don't care.
Ruggs, I mean, he only has 2 touchdown catches and only 100-yard game. Like,
How is Dak Prescott not mentioned on this list?
that's what I'm
actually?
thinking. Like, if we're gonna put Henry Ruggs on here, let's put Dak Prescott and somebody else. Like,
Like
I don't know
CeeDee
what
Lamb.
CeeDee
I don't
Let's
know who he
see.
targets. And then maybe that's why, because he has Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb.
CeeDee Lamb has 4
Well,
touchdown
and-
passes and more 100-yard games than him. So why
I
are they
don't-
not putting that in there?
I
Like, what?
don't mind Derek Carr being on there. I guess I don't know. I get what you guys are saying, but he doesn't really have like a go-to receiver. Like I feel like they could have put Waller up here, but
I would
know he
argue
missed.
Waller.
I know he missed last week.
Yeah.
I think like Derek Carr himself probably deserves to be on here, but I guess he doesn't really have like a go-to.
When I
I
saw
mean, like
Derek
I
Carr was
said,
on there, I already thought it was gonna be Waller next to him when they did
Same.
Ruggs.
Same. Literally. I was thinking
uh,
that. Like, I was
so
surprised.
I don't know. I guess I can kind of agree with you. I think Derek Carr should be somewhere on this list because he's got to be mentioned because he's been balling.
Yeah, and
Uh,
the
Yes,
Raiders are
but
kind of turning it around the last 2 weeks. They've got W's.
I think it is a bit disrespectful to have not Dak Prescott on there too,
I do
Raiders
agree
considering
with
the
also lost
Dak.
to the
I
Bears.
I agree with Yoli. I think Dak and you could probably go a number. You can go CD or whoever Schultz or whatever. But I think Dak. I think the people I'd probably remove off of here would probably be. I'm kind of confused by the Stafford Robert Woods, just
yeah,
because
and
Robert
that's only
Woods.
been recent.
They just wanted to
Yeah,
put
I was.
Stafford on there twice. Come on,
Well,
Yeah.
and
they could have
Yoli's
put
right.
anyone right there.
Robert Woods for the first half or 3/4 of this year didn't do anything.
Yeah. It's only
Past
been like the last 2 or 3 games he's been putting up
yeah.
these numbers, like putting up anything.